August 15th, 1945. Rabaul, New Britain. The heat here does not just sit on the skin. It invades the lungs. It is a physical weight, a suffocating blanket that smells of sulfur, rotting jungle vegetation, and the copper temps of old blood that never quite washes away in the rain. In a makeshift holding pen carved out of the volcanic mud, Lieutenant Hiroshi Tanaka sits in silence. He is 24 years old. Before the war, he was a literature student in Kyoto who spent his afternoons reading poetry in the quiet shadows of cedar temples. Now, he looks 50. He is a skeleton wrapped in sun-blistered skin, hollowed out by malaria and months of starvation. He waits. Around him, the silence is terrifying. The Emperor has spoken the impossible word over the radio: surrender. To Hiroshi, this word does not translate to peace. It translates to an unbearable, crushing shame. In the code of the Imperial Army, to survive is to fail. He watches the American Marines standing guard. They look like giants. They are flushed with health, leaning casually against their jeeps, smoking cigarettes. That smell of sweet, cured tobacco, a sharp contrast to the harsh, burning weeds. Hiroshi's men have been smoking for months. Hiroshi grips his knees. He thinks of his family. He thinks of the honorable death he failed to achieve. He watches a young American guard approach the wire and closes his eyes, waiting for the rifle but waiting for the bullet. He believes this is the only logical conclusion, but the bullet does not come. Instead, the gate opens. The prisoners are ordered to stand. They stumble toward the docks on legs that tremble violently, squinting against the harsh glare of the Pacific sun. And then, Hiroshi sees it. Floating in the harbor is a vessel that defies description. It is not a battleship designed for glory. It is not an aircraft carrier bristling with weapons. It is a gray, floating slab, a concrete barge. It is blocky, ugly, and sits low in the water like a tombstone adrift in the ocean. Hiroshi is confused. Is this a prison ship? A torture chamber? As he is led up the gangplank, the wood burning hot under his bare feet, he prepares himself for the end. But the first thing that hits him is not a sight. It is a feeling, a breeze. Not the hot, sticky wind of the jungle, but a cold breeze. Artificial, mechanical, cold. He stands on the deck, surrounded by the deep, rhythmic thrumming of massive diesel generators. This is the sound of American industry. Standing by a gleaming chrome machine is Private First Class Thomas Miller. He's 19, a boy from a dairy farm outside Columbus, Ohio, wearing a clean white t-shirt. He does not look like a warrior who has conquered the Pacific. He looks like a boy working a summer job at a soda fountain. Thomas holds a simple paper cup. He pulls a lever. A thick, white substance swirls into the cup, piling high in a perfect spiral. Hiroshi's brain struggles to process this data. He knows about the Zero Fighter. He knows about the massive guns of the Yamato. He understands steel and fire. But this, the air around the machine smells of vanilla. It smells of refined sugar and dairy. It is the scent of safety, a scent that has no business existing in the hellscape of the South Pacific. Thomas walks over to Hiroshi. The enemy. The monster. Thomas extends his hand and offers the cup. Hiroshi freezes. The American soldier smiles a tired, human smile with no malice. "Go on, Lieutenant," Thomas says, his voice cutting through the hum. "It's just vanilla. It won't bite." Hiroshi lifts the cup. His hand shakes so violently that a drop of the white liquid falls onto his thumb. He feels the temperature. Freezing. In a place where the heat rots, boot leather, this substance is freezing. It defies nature. He raises the cup to his cracked, blistered lips. He takes a bite. Sugar, cream, vanilla bean, cold. The sensation explodes in his mouth, shocking his empty stomach with a richness he hasn't known in years. It is delicious. It is the best thing he has ever tasted, and it destroys him. Tears cut tracks through the dirt on Hiroshi's cheeks. He is not crying because he is happy. He is crying because, in that second of sweetness, he realizes the terrifying truth. Japan never could have won this war. He looks at the barge with new eyes. This is a floating factory designed solely to manufacture ice cream for soldiers, while his family in Kyoto boils grass for soup. While the Imperial Army cannot get rice to its front lines, the Americans built a concrete ship and dedicated fuel, engineering, and convoys just to tow this floating freezer across the largest ocean on Earth. Why? Just to give a farm boy from Ohio a cold treat. This was the weapon that broke him. Not the atomic bomb. It was the ice cream. It was the realization of total, absolute abundance. His enemy was not just fighting a war of survival. They were managing a lifestyle. Hiroshi looks at Thomas and asks, in broken English, "Why? Why give ... to me?" Thomas shrugs, wiping his hands on a rag. "War's over, pal. Everyone likes ice cream. War's over." Just like that, the hatred melted away, dissolved by sugar and milk. 53 years later, Tokyo, 1998. An old man sits on a bench in Yoyogi Park. The cherry blossoms are falling like snow. The city around him is a miracle of glass and steel. Hiroshi is 77 now. He holds the hand of his grandson, Kenji. The boy is eating a soft-serve cone, laughing as the vanilla drips onto his fingers. Hiroshi watches the ice cream. For a moment, the roar of Tokyo traffic fades. He is back on that concrete deck and he feels the phantom weight of the humid air. He sees the blue eyes of the boy from Ohio who gave him back his humanity when he expected a bullet. He reaches into his pocket, pulls out a handkerchief, and gently wipes a smudge of vanilla from his grandson's chin. "Is it good, the boy? A6. Hiroshi nods, his voice a whisper cracked with age. "Yes, Kenji. It tastes like peace. We measure war in steel and body counts. But sometimes, history turns on the small, impossible luxurious." The Japanese officer learned a hard truth that day. You cannot defeat an enemy who can ship winter to the tropics. But he also learned that beneath the uniform, we are all just fragile creatures, desperate for a taste of sweetness in a bitter world. Even in the machinery of death, life cold sweet, and enduring finds a way to persist.